We'll call this meeting to order. Everyone, please join me in the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call. Here.
Mike Cooley,
Here.
Councilman Johnson,
Here.
Here. Present.
We have a quorum. We have a quorum. We'll move forward. Has everybody had a chance to look at the agenda? Is there any addition to the agenda? Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as
I'd make a motion to approve the agenda as read.
a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Move on to approval of the minutes from the March 4th, 2026 meeting. Are there any questions, changes that need to be made? Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the March 24th, 2026 meeting?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from March 4th, 2026 meeting.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We'll move on to approval of the bills. We have deposits in the amount of $245,988.10. Accounts payable in the amount of $159,623.26. Transmittals in the amount of $45,922.92. And payroll in the amount of $42,971.38. Is that normal for payroll?
Yeah, it's about what it usually is.
Any discussion? I have a motion to go ahead and approve the bills.
I make a motion to approve the bills.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll move on to correspondence.
there are none.
Okay, any items from the public? Okay, any council comments? We'll move on to reports from departments, nothing from the town hall.
No, sir. And I do have in front of you, there's a budget packet. Inside the folders, there's the timeline. You guys can just go and look at that.
Is that time of year?
Councilman Flutie.
So, are there any questions about the budget packet? Okay, anything else from town hall? Okay, we'll move on to the police department.
Mr. Mayor, Councilman. I got two items for you this evening. We found with the upgrades from Windows 10 to Windows 11, our mobile data terminals were too old and couldn't be upgraded to Windows 11. So we need to replace those two computers in the vehicles. What I found for quotes was looking at new models of what we have, so they'll fit in our current hardware that's in the vehicles, is $3,222 a piece. So I found two refurbished through, it's actually Bob Johnson, not Ben Johnson that's on here. Two of them with the same specs and everything that we have now, but with Windows 11 and capable of upgrades, comes to $1,946.58. So I'm looking for is permission to purchase those. I have money in the IT budget left that would cover it.
Questions?
What's cost a piece? Is 19 or
No, that's the total for both of them.
cost? Okay.
Yeah.
I have a motion to go ahead and purchase these two replacement computers, refurbished computers for the police cars.
I'd make a motion to replace these refurbished computers for the police cars for $1,946.58.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good.
Thank you. The next item I have is from Axon, who does our body cameras, dash cameras, tasers, manage our storage for all the video stuff. What I'm looking to do is add another body camera for part-timer use, and that way we have a spare if one goes down. And then this also includes, the one camera comes with another license for people to be able to log into the system and use it. And we're adding 3 more licenses, so everyone has their own login to manage their evidence. And what that comes to is over the rest of our 51-month contract with Axon, it adds $10,740.35. This year, for the remaining part of this year, is $859.23. But then it adds $2,470 each year to our other contract. So that raises that from annually for the next 4 years from approximately 22 to 24,000 and some change.
How much is the camera itself? Do you have a breakdown on that?
I don't. When I asked for the quote, he sent it just as a part of the licensing, because either way, we still have to pay for the AI assistant would be an annual fee, and the cloud storage is an annual fee, is the way it works.
Okay.
And so what I'm looking for at this point is $859.23. And then the rest will be added into the budgeting each year for
Each
our next
year.
contract.
But this will be the total of the 51 months.
Yeah, that's the total cost at the end over 5 years.
Okay.
For all of them or for just the one?
This is just for adding this.
This is a 5-year cost, was $10,000.
Yeah, just shy. We got 51 months left in this contract. We started a new contract
That's for-
July 1st.
2 licenses and 1 camera, right?
3 additional licenses. It actually ends up being 4 licenses total in a camera because the camera comes with a license.
Oh, okay.
So there's separate license for each part-timer.
I don't have a problem with this.
Well, that's pretty good price, looks to me like.
Roughly $2,000 a year. Any more discussion? I have a motion to go ahead and approve the Axon body cameras with the licenses for an additional $10,740.35 over the 51-month period.
I'd make a motion to purchase the Axon body camera and license for $10,740.35 over the next 51 months.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
All right, thank you. Just quick updates. I checked on the rifles this week. They're done being built. They're in quality control check now, so they should be shipping to us in the next week or so. Fully ready to go. And we have everything else ready to mount on them and get those going. Our call volume starting to pick up. Most of the winter, we've been running 60 to 70 calls a week. And now these last 2 weeks, we've been up between 90 and 100. Starting to get a little bit busier.
Good.
Otherwise, everything else is going well.
Radio's working good?
Yep, we got one I got to work on Lieutenant Morris's car. I have to have them come down. I think it's got a bad antenna in it. Because his radio is connecting to the Wi-Fi, but not as well as even my truck does parked away from his car. So there's something wrong with his antenna receiving, but
Okay.
that taken care of.
Good, good. What we like to hear. Any complaints from the sheriff's office?
No, not that I've heard.
Do we have any complaints for the sheriff's office?
Nothing in particular. No, there's been still just the same issues we've had with, they have one consulate that's very quiet and hard to hear, but that's not just us. That's everybody in the county has a problem with whichever dispatcher is on that consulate.
Good.
That's something they've been working on with Motorola for quite a while.
Good. Any other questions for John?
No.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Move on to the fire department. Have nothing to report from them. I see them about daily and things have been pretty quiet on their department, so. Okay, we'll move on to the recreation department. By the way, Carter is at the fire department meeting tonight, so she's filling in for him.
Not much from us. We have Platte Valley Youth Basketball started. Practice all this week. First games will start on Monday. We got our volleyball survey out and we got quite a few responses, which we'll go over on our next rec board meeting. And then we'll end up painting next week. Finishing the pool up. That's it from me.
What's your volleyball about?
We got our survey for the co-ed adult volleyball. We got our survey sent out and a bunch of responses back.
Oh, on how it went?
Mhm.
Good responses.
Yeah. Hopefully
Yeah.
for next year.
Good.
But yeah, that's it for me.
Any questions from me? All right, well, thank you very much. Okay, we'll move on to Department of Public Works, the Planning Commission, and the Water and Sewer.
Gentlemen, the first item I've got on the agenda is a quote for replacing the water meters out at the well field. We have been running on the same water meters since they put the wells in. We're having problems with a couple of them, kind of reading when they're not actually supposed to be. And then the accuracy on the other ones is getting questionable. We do have to report accurate figures to the state engineer's office for water production. These meters are important for tracking our water loss for the water we produce. You know, the ones we've got have outlived their life. I did have a discussion with the board about it. We would like to get these purchased. We were going to wait till next year. We'd like to just get them coming now. We did look at a couple different options. We can go with kind of a more archaic mechanical meter built by Neptune, but the cost savings is pretty de minimis compared to the parts, these meters that don't have any moving parts that are pretty much maintenance free. They do come with a 10-year unlimited warranty and then a prorated 10-year after that. The prices have gone up quite a bit in the last few years. It's just part of maintenance and then having the water system.
You can take them out of, we're at in your budget.
We got, they come out of capital equipment, or since we're looking at probably a budget amendment for some of the home street because of the invoicing overlap, we probably would just figure on this being part of that.
Okay.
As well. I had a discussion with the board about that too.
Any questions? Well, they've been in, how long has the well been in?
Since 2009.
Yeah. So they've served their,
Yeah. And I was hoping to be able to just get the meter part, but they come as one big package with the strainer and all the mounting equipment.
any additional questions?
That's something you guys can install though, or?
Yeah.
Any more questions?
What is there, 4 of them? 5.
They're expensive. Anyway, any other discussion?
Where we're switching brands, meters to a different kind, is this something you've dealt with before on
Yeah. So
brand or?
everything will go pretty smoothly. We've got all Neptune meters in right now, and that's who supports us in the meters we have in the ground. So these meters will go from Census to Neptune, which is what we have.
No.
They should work together better.
Any more questions? Okay, do I have a motion to go ahead and purchase these water meters for the 5 wells for $48,656.10?
I'd make a motion to purchase the water meters for the 5 wells for $48,656.10.
Do you have a second?
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Okay, moving on with things getting busier. We kind of held off hiring a guy through the winter when things were a little bit slower. We would like to onboard Carson Everett as a seasonal. He's planning on leaving in the fall, but we have that seasonal weed and pest position. So he'd help with mosquitoes, mow, tractor. Then as if the street guys need help, how we've done in the past. So he would onboard at $21.50 as a seasonal, probably start sometime here in the beginning of April.
When's he gonna start?
beginning of April. It's kind of fine. If he could start sooner, I got stuff for him to do as soon as he's ready, but so he can, he's still in school.
We have a lot of projects going on this summer, so he'll probably be well abused. Any questions? I have a motion to go ahead and hire Carson Everett at $21.50 an hour for seasonal, beginning somewhere around the first part of April.
I'll make the motion to hire Carson Everett at $21.50.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay. And then this next gentleman, we've been out without William since October. And so we, like I said, we just kind of didn't hire anybody through the winter. We kind of banked all that savings there. But we can't, gratuitously run with limited staff, especially where things get busier and we got more going on, hot pool, parks, streets, et cetera. So we would like to bring on Stephen Fletcher. He's worked for us before. He did well over at the PD. He's got a skill set that'll, I think, will do us a good job and be an asset to us. I mean, he would be the full-time replacement for that streets position that we had. Benefited at a GS3, a step one at 22.29.
22.29. Discussion, questions? He seemed to had done a good job in the police department for us. He really did, so. We have a motion to go ahead and hire Stephen Fletcher as a full-time streets person at $22.29 per hour.
I'd make a motion to hire Stephen Fletcher at the rate of $22.29 an hour,
Full-time.
full-time.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. How many applicants did we have?
Dave, I think.
5?
Yeah. And we didn't, when we were reaching back out to people setting up interviews, guys that else have moved on. And anyway, moving on, number 13. This has been in the budget since last year and I've just kind of put it on the back burner, but now as things are getting nice, I'd like to get these picnic tables ordered for the lake and for lake, and then 4 of these are for Never Forget Park. But there's no sense in ordering them separately. I did shop around. That's about as cheap as you can get them. The shipping is pretty extensive. I looked into going and picking them up. It's not going to be a lot cheaper. Just it's 20 hours and then they aren't all going to fit on a trailer that we own. So
Where are they at?
they're all the way over on the east coast of or west coast of Washington. So we did run some numbers. If we had a bigger trailer, we'd probably be able to go get them, but
How
then
many of them are there?
there's 20 total.
20 total.
Yeah, and so the lake has about 35 to 40 picnic tables out there. The idea was just to kind of start annually replacing a few of them, starting with the worst ones. Some of them are bent, the boards, we've nursed them along about as long as we can. So if you just get something that doesn't require any maintenance, and people pay to stay out there, so it'd be nice to have picnic tables that will give you slivers.
Right.
Busy place in the summertime.
Yeah. And they are the 4 of them for the park. They're all ADA compliant, so you can roll up a wheelchair under one side of them also.
Okay, good. Are they kind of like weatherproof?
Yeah, they're called a thermal coated plastic. So they're basically metal with a vinyl that I think it's hot poured over the top of them. And they're kind of the industry standard for parks and recs.
Like that Plastidip stuff.
Yeah,
That's a rubberized feel.
At least we don't have to paint them every year.
yeah. And they don't seem to sun rot much either, which is kind of, good, but you think they would start cracking and stuff after a while, but they do seem to hold up.
Any more discussion on this? I have a motion to go ahead and purchase these 20 picnic tables at $21,022.43.
I'd make the motion to purchase these picnic tables for the amount of $21,022.43.
You have a second?
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Okay, so at the last meeting, we approved those bids for the park. We sent those NOAs over to the engineer and he's delivered them to the contractors. They're all getting their bonds together and getting all their contract docs in order. So we'll probably see those at the next meeting to actually formally approve the signing of the contracts and give them the notice to proceed. So probably moving the bathroom guys in and get them going on the foundation and then concrete guys in shortly thereafter, wrapping up with landscaping and irrigation for that. Is the plan on there. The TAP project, we're through all the environmental letters and that's the pathway up there at the high school. And all the environmental letters with the required agencies for that. Looks like EA is probably gonna finish the design. We reviewed a couple other firms and their familiarity with the project. They're probably the best selection to finish the design and construction management for that. So they're drafting us up a proposal to complete that. And a lot of them are under that grant. So we'll probably see that there at the next meeting. And then our sewer river crossing project's about 80% designed. And that includes both crossings, the north one and the south one for the sewer. We had another meeting with DEQ today to firm up design standards for the actual pipe that's going to go in the riverbed. So we're waiting on one last little answer from them on that and then be able to finish those up, get everything out for review and hopefully have a bid package ready to go later this spring, and that'll be probably next winter project. End of November type of deal with fish windows and stuff like that.
so when do you think you'll go out to bid? Sometime in,
It's probably gonna be June.
well, good.
And Jen did get our first reimbursement for engineering costs for that project submitted, and we did get that funding back, so that was good.
Great.
So they got a check for what, 34,000 or something today.
It's good.
Yeah.
That's,
Things are moving along. And I am working on like I call it a quarterly update that kind of covers everything I've got going on my end. It's a little bit more comprehensive. I know I get up here sometime and I just don't know how long to stand up here for and talk or not, or never. So I'll get that guys out to you here next month. And
We're always glad to hear you.
any question for Emery? Okay. Want to move on to planning commission, sir?
yeah, so at the last meeting, I wasn't there. I did get updated from a call. They had a public hearing on the variance procedures ordinance that'll come before you guys. So I'll get that out to you guys probably here at the end of the week. And then probably not at this meeting, but the following one, we got to have a public hearing on it before you guys do any adoption. So let you guys review it and then we can do public hearing after that.
This is for a variance?
No, it's for the procedures, just so
Oh.
they went through and clarified them a little bit better. So,
Okay.
you know, when the planning commission gets an application, they all have a little bit better of an understanding of the purpose and how to evaluate them. And then they had a couple special use permits for 4-H animals that were approved. And then, it's not coming to me. So those are kind of the main things that they covered at the last meeting.
Yeah.
Questions?
Hmm.
Water and Sewer Joint Powers Board, one other thing we have been discussing that we're gonna try out is we do gotta get Watson Well out at some point to replace the transducers. And when we do that, we're gonna try and go to a seamless HDPE pump pipe instead of the cast iron jointed on 2 of the wells. And see how that application works, just so if we have to pull them in the future, we can. Instead of having to have Jason come over here and break joints and stack pipe back. And then we have had to pump 3, it has gotten holes in it pretty consistently. So that HDPE wouldn't be susceptible to that corrosion. And they think there's a pretty good cost to benefit to that. So trial run that next time we have a well crew over here to pull the steel pipe out.
So this is just one solid pipe that'll be pushed.
Yeah, there'll be one joint that runs from the well pipe all the way down. It's kind of like, I mean, you do PVC and PEX and some other residential applications, but this will be a little heavier duty, like a DR9 HDPE.
How deep are those wells?
So they're anywhere from 350 to 420 feet, and the pumps sit, most of them around 220. And then they're in about 100 foot of water. But we had to do some calcs and stuff on whether it was gonna float or whatnot. And you gotta have a casing spacer on them, so. But the HDP cost is actually pretty limited, or not limited, it's pretty low compared to your steel pipe. We looked at going stainless, but that's just,
Ridiculous.
yeah, no way. But we don't want to switch all of them over at once.
I want to make sure they work first.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you're gonna switch over number 3 that has a few issues, right?
Yeah, that one, I think it's that one and 4 that are transitioning. 3's probably okay for now, because we replaced that last piece, because when they were here 2 years ago, air development. So whatever ones we pull, I know it's 1, and it's either 3 or 4 that need the transducers replaced, and so those are the ones they'll be on it.
What size is that pipe?
3-inch. But we can get 500 foot rolls. So it'll be, and then you weld basically a pipe threaded fitting on the end of it with the fusion machine, which we've done before.
Mm-hmm.
And then have a union on both ends, one for your pitless, one for your pump. Good. So
When do you think you're gonna have them over?
probably not till the middle of April. We're waiting to get that firmed up. But those transducers, that's another one of those things where we gotta have well levels. We gotta be able to track that over time,
Mm-hmm.
especially when people, come in and challenge how our water is affecting everybody else's water. We can say, no, our well levels haven't changed in 15
Right.
years.
Right. Which that has happened.
Correct.
We have been challenged.
Okay.
One quick thing. Are you still looking at crushing some of this
Yeah,
roto-mill up there?
yeah.
Okay.
You guys will probably see that here first meeting in April.
Okay. Any other questions for Emery? Thanks, sir.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, move on to the Recreation Commission.
Nothing new to report. We haven't had a meeting since our last meeting, so the next meeting's on the 6th of April here at the council chambers at 6 o'clock.
Okay. Move on to the Airport Advisory Board. Ms. Brenda, do you have anything?
A couple things. Katie with Armstrong Lockheed Engineers discussed the master plan alternative possibilities. One of them was extending the runway. Also placement of self fuel area and parking for smaller aircraft. They compared what was in the old master plan and discussed if they wanted to keep that same, if they wanted to keep anything in there from the master plan. They wanted to keep the same. They discussed the sewer and finishing the entrance area. The board would like to do the digging themselves to save some money. Larry from the airport said the landing fees for February were $1,750, and that's about the same as other years. Slow in the winter. And there's been a helicopter out there for a while. I think might be gone now. But it's a geological survey helicopter and it's been bringing in revenue, so they'd like to have that out there. And he said the lift station light keeps coming on, but you guys are working on that,
Yeah.
fixing that. And that's about it.
The pump that got shipped, we think got shipped without a seal on it,
Um,
so got one coming.
Add to the airport. I've done a little research and they were talking about maybe having the town do some of the digging, extend it. We don't have time. Right now, I sat down with Emery. These guys are booked for the summer. They're fixing to start the bore underneath the highway to get this line on Elm Street. We are really busy this summer. Plus, we need to get this, it's gotta be designed and it's gotta be permitted. We just can't go up there and dig 150 foot of sewer line or whatever, to at least get them under the fence. So, and I haven't reported that back to the board, but I'm gonna at their next meeting. But that's two of the issues we run into. and it's gotta be permitted and it's gotta be designed. And it's gotta be designed to fit the elevation because they've gotta go underneath one of the taxiways up there, well, it goes to the hangars, and it is set on grade right now. They have a sleeve underneath it that we gotta go through. Get that sewer, either that or we have to dig up the runway. So,
Is that something the FAA has to be part of, or is that something you just get permitted through the state?
Just the DQ.
which is not a big deal, I mean, but it's gotta be designed before you can permit it. So anyway, I've gotta talk to the board and see how they wanna proceed. That's where we're at now with that. Any other discussion on that? Okay, we'll move on to the South Central Emergency Medical Service. Mr. Martin?
Good evening. Thanks, Mayor. Thanks, Councilman. Appreciate you. Just a couple things. First, I want to thank Mr. Hodges for coming to the meeting last night. I think he helped us kind of see a couple of things that we need to do better in terms of educating the town, each municipality and what we do and how we do it. There was a discussion about a driver situation. And actually, it's not really a driver situation that we have. We have a situation with transports when the hospital needs ALS in the back, and that's our biggest issue right now. So that really comes down to having someone trained at an I level or an advanced level or a paramedic level to where they can take ALS transfers. We've taken about 70–80% of the transfers asked of us since the inception of the hospital opening. So we've done a pretty good job up until recently, where we just need a few more upper echelon folks to take on classes like I classes. Just so turns out that Chief Moore has taken it, as well as Shannon, the mayor and encampment, and there's one other, Shana, our interim director. So we're gonna have 3 eyes come hopefully May, June timeframe, which is gonna increase our level of capacity in the back of the ambulance. But that's really what we were.
So they can run transfers in advance?
They can. We're still at kind of a manning issue right now as well, because we have they've only got a few full-time folks and a lot of volunteers. So we're working on trying to come up with a plan to add more folks so that we have more pool of people to pick from, so that we can accommodate transfers. And you know, having been there, I mean, they got some sick folks coming out of the hospital, so we really need to get some folks in the back of the ambulance and help them out the best we can. But Mr. Hodges came out and kind of sparked a good conversation with us last night. So happy that he came out and got us all thinking about how it all works. We take advantage of the fact that we know how this all works. We don't realize that not everybody knows how EMS is ran. And so we're trying to plan something to where we can, you know, come and get something succinct so we can deliver to the town hall meetings, and also kind of educate folks in the town as to what goes on in EMS, so that people have a better understanding. Always an uncomfortable conversation, but we've been having municipalities pay $34 per person for Schwimm's as access. I'd like to do a little bit of a soft proposal to increase that. I'd really like to know what everybody thinks about raising that to $4 more per person to $38. Schwimm's wide, if we were to do that in all the municipalities, you're talking about $20,000 a year. I mean, it's beneficial, don't get me wrong, but it's only 20 grand for the whole Schwimm's group. If we were to bump it up $4. We're discussing it in our meetings. We've had our first read on our budget last month. We're gonna have our second read next month. We kind of wanted to throw a soft pitch out there about, you know, any questions or concerns people would have about us raising that from 34 to 38. I know it's difficult, and there's a lot of more expensive things in life these days. Again, I think I owe the town of Saratoga an explanation as to what EMS is all about. so that they know what they're getting with their money. And I'll probably put something together here next month or two to get that rolling, before we even come back with a hard ask.
Word of caution on that is we're just starting our budget.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so if you raise yours $4 per person and we don't, you won't get it.
Roger that. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so because we just barely started, we got our packs tonight and, so.
Yeah, and I
You
can,
definitely want to make sure that we're in favor of that before.
oh, absolutely. Like I said, this is kind of a softball toss here
Okay.
right now. I'll be honest with you, I don't know how the inner workings of this work. I'm bringing it up tonight, and if we can meet and kind of pin down what that looks like, I'd be happy to do that.
Let us get a good start into our budget and then we will have one meeting that's open to the public, or at least once, before we adopt it.
Yes, sir.
There'll be time to say stuff during the 3 readings to adopt it. We can amend the budget then. Or the treasurer gets a little upset because she has to take it right back and balance it, but it can be amended during the readings.
Okay.
But we don't like to do that. We hope we go into it
Yes,
where it's set in stone and we don't have to amend it.
absolutely.
But, yeah, just use caution on that. Not saying we won't give it to you,
Oh, sure.
but, don't count on it until it's set in stone in our. Okay?
You bet. Yeah,
Makes
yeah,
sense?
yeah. Yeah, I totally understand. That's all I have, unless you have any.
Any questions? So other than that, how's it going? With things working better or?
Yeah, we're really excited that there's folks here in town that are doing the I-class. I think that's a very, very good step, towards helping the ambulance. We've got some work to do, no doubt. I think we need to start with educating folks. We need to try and do what we can to get EMS as an essential service in the state. I mean, that's statewide. EMS is not an essential service in Wyoming. And so we need to work on that and see what we can do about that. That just helps funding wise too later on. But we've had some good conversations with folks. I've chatted with Chief Rutherford and Dave Geyer and Pat Vining, Pat Walliser. I mean, things are going good in that sense. I think that having those conversations are a must. Even if they're, a sidebar conversation at a restaurant or wherever we end up having them. But overall, I think things are going well with Schwimm's. We still don't have a director, but we have 2 interviews coming up. And we're gonna be a little bit more aggressive about trying to get the right person for that job. But we do need a director and we know how bad we need one. So Shayna is doing an absolutely stunning job, a great job. But she's extremely busy as a full-time EMT and doing the EMT I-class currently. So we want to get some help for her and as well as the rest of the volunteers and full-time folks.
Okay, great. All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate what you're doing, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to make a comment. Thank you, Councilman Barkers, for suggesting I go to that meeting. It was very informative. And it caused me to understand what was going on better rather than my cart before the horse discussion at the last council meeting. But it's amazing. They do a lot of transport, but the thing I learned there was that's a 911 emergency call service. Primarily, they're not a medical taxi. And that's my interpretation, but they do lots of on-call. So sounds like clear up way above maybe all of our heads. They need to figure out, should the hospital be, they know they're not going to keep those people but a day or two. Should they have figured out that they need a transport service to the next hospital? I mean, who knows where that goes? And maybe I'm speaking again a bit out of turn, but that was the impression I came away with.
I appreciate
So you
that.
come away with the impression that the hospital needs their own ambulance service just for
It was
transport?
discussed a little bit, but not an ambulance service, really a
Transport.
I think we could, I as a citizen am better educated. When I call 911, they're trying to save my life because I maybe have health issues. Okay?
Correct.
The next day, if I need to be transported, that's not their primary function. Their primary function is to keep me alive.
Correct.
So I need to be transported so that there's somebody to transport. And that's my understanding, and Martin can.
But don't you have to go out? I mean, it's gotta be, they have to stabilize you. You would have to go in an ambulance. If they're trying to save your life, how is
That's what they-
that or flight?
That's what they explained to me.
So,
And so somebody well-trained needs to be in the back. It's not just drivers.
correct.
And I misunderstood that.
Oh,
And now I'm better informed. And hopefully can articulate that when asked.
okay.
But somebody needs to be in the medical taxi business.
Hmm.
And that's my terminology. And it ain't there. And I understand now why they're not leaving, because that's not their primary function.
Well, there's several, yeah. We could discuss this for a long time.
Sure.
They're not leaving because they don't have a backup.
Yes.
Okay, that's the biggest reason. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
If they don't have nobody to cover, which I don't want them to leave the valley if they don't have somebody to cover
They
this
were talking
valley.
about trips to Salt Lake. My word, that's what, 400 miles or something?
And Denver
They're gone.
and
Not quite,
Loveland and
but
Casper, you
Yeah,
know.
Casper, Denver,
Mhm.
not just over the hills of there.
Mhm.
but. So,
And my original intent was to, are we using the resources that we got available? And I was under the impression it was primary drivers. It's stand corrected now. But there's aren't very many, 1,700 people, about here in town, 3,000 people or whatever here in the valley. Everybody needs to be working together, and if you feel free to correct me for this statement, I got the impression that you hadn't been asked and there wasn't communication. And so I went there saying, my impression from the council was they hadn't been asked, so maybe you ought to come and ask. Was a statement I actually made at the meeting. And if I misrepresented that,
we, some of us have had discussions with various people.
I'm sure you have.
I've talked to Steve numerous times. I've talked to people at the hospital numerous times. I even talked to, when Staten was here, I even had a sit down with him and talk to him about issues. So yes, there's been discussion, but the biggest thing is this is a private organization, okay? We contribute money to it, but we have very little say. I appoint a person to represent the town of Saratoga and the council votes on it. It says in their bylaws, every town involved with SWIMS will do that. They will appoint their own representative. That's pretty much the end of our business with how SWIMS is run.
I understand that it's not a department.
No,
It's maybe kind of like the fire department, you do some things with.
actually, we have more control over the fire department than we do over SWIMS. We have we have no control over SWIMS.
Okay. Well, it's.
We have some say, but how it goes, you never know. So,
It's, note that I stand corrected.
okay, well, thank you. Any more discussion? I have a motion to go into executive session under Wyoming statute 16-4-405. A, 2 little eyes, and 3 little eyes.
I'll make the motion to go into executive session.
Have a second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. I have asked, I have a motion to call this meeting back to order at 7:25.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. As we discussed in there, the appraisal is back. So the chair would entertain a motion to go ahead and move forward.
With the appraisal, I'll make a motion to deliver notice to the seller that the appraisal condition of the offer has been satisfied.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there any further business to be brought before the town? Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?